It started with the sound of pounding on my front door. Not knocking, pounding. I was in the kitchen washing dishes when my 12-year-old son, Ethan, came running in from the living room, wide-eyed. "Mom," he said nervously, "Karen's here." Now, if you've ever lived in an HOA neighborhood, you probably already know who Karen is. The kind of person who polices everyone else's lawn length, sends passive-aggressive letters about unauthorized garden gnomes, and acts like she personally invented the WOA rules. But this wasn't about lawns or fences. This was about something much stranger, and it all started when my son, Ethan, did what kids do best, outsmarted adults. The door nearly rattled off its hinges as Karen shouted, "Open up right now. I know what your son did." I wiped my hands and opened the door cautiously. There she was, arms crossed, face red as a tomato, practically shaking with fury. "What seems to be the problem, Karen?" I asked, already bracing myself. Her eyes darted to Ethan, who was peeking from behind me. "He changed the Wi-Fi password. You'd better fix it before I call the police." For a moment, I just blinked at her, trying to process what she had said. Wi-Fi. The neighborhood busybody was pounding on my door because of Wi-Fi. Then it hit me. Karen had been mooching off our internet. See, Ethan had always been good with computers. While most kids his age were obsessed with video games, he liked tinkering with routers and figuring out how networks worked. Just last week, he had asked if he could reset our Wi-Fi password, for security reasons. I told him yes, not thinking much of it. Apparently, Karen had been using our old password this whole time. "I don't know what you're talking about," I said calmly. "Our Wi-Fi is private. It's not for the whole neighborhood." Karen's face twisted into something almost comical. "That's ridiculous. Everyone knows your internet is the strongest signal. The WOA agreed years ago that residents could share. If you don't fix this, you'll be fined." Ethan tugged on my sleeve and whispered, "Mom, there's no rule about that." I checked the bylaws online. That's when I realized my son had done something more than just reset a password, he had uncovered something big. Over the next few days, the situation escalated. Karen left nasty notes in our mailbox, warning that the WOA would take legal action. She even stood outside our house with her tablet, trying to connect to our network like a desperate teenager who couldn't survive without TikTok. Meanwhile, Ethan kept digging. "Mom," he said one night, eyes glued to his laptop, "you're not going to believe this. Karen hacked into our router months ago. She was using it to run her side business." "What side business?" I asked, my stomach sinking. Ethan turned the screen to me, showing screenshots of traffic logs. Karen wasn't just browsing Facebook on our Wi-Fi, she was using it to run an illegal online shop, selling counterfeit luxury handbags. She had routed everything through our IP address, which meant if the authorities ever traced it, the blame would fall on us. I felt the blood drain from my face. My 12-year-old had just uncovered a crime. The next morning, Karen was back at our door, shrieking about her right to access the Wi-Fi. But this time, I didn't let her rant. I pulled out my phone, hit record, and asked her point blank. "Karen, are you admitting you've been using our Wi-Fi without permission?" She froze, eyes widening. That's community property." She stammered. "No, it's not," I shot back. "And if you don't stop harassing my family, I'll be turning over everything we found to the police." Her face went pale. She muttered something about misunderstandings, and stormed off. But I knew this wasn't over. Later that week, Ethan and I went to the WOA board meeting. He had compiled all the logs, timestamps, and screenshots into a neat presentation. He might have been just 12, but when he stood up in front of that room full of adults, his voice was steady. "Karen has been illegally using my family's Wi-Fi," he said, projecting the evidence on the screen. "Not only that, but she's been running online sales through it. If law enforcement had traced the IP address, my parents could have been arrested for something they didn't do." The room erupted. Board members whispered, neighbors gasped, and Karen sat frozen in her chair, her perfect composure finally cracking. The WOA president leaned forward, glaring at her. "Karen, is this true?" She sputtered excuses, but it was too late. The evidence was overwhelming. Within a month, Karen was removed from the WA board, fined for her behavior, and investigated for her online activity. She tried to play the victim, claiming she didn't know it was wrong, but nobody believed her anymore. Meanwhile, Ethan became something of a local hero. Neighbors started coming to him for tech help, resetting routers, teaching them about online safety, even helping older residents set up secure passwords. One evening, as we sat on the porch, Ethan leaned against me and asked, "Mom, did I do the right thing? I didn't mean to get her in trouble. I just wanted to protect us." I hugged him tightly. "You did more than the right thing. You protected this family. You showed everyone that the truth matters, and that even kids can stand up to bullies." The lesson. Power doesn't come from titles or positions on an WA board. It doesn't come from threats or intimidation. Real power comes from knowledge, integrity, and the courage to speak up when something isn't right. Karen thought she could control the neighborhood by fear and entitlement. But in the end, she was brought down by a boy with curiosity, a laptop, and the guts to expose the truth. So next time someone underestimates a kid, remember Ethan. Because sometimes, the smallest voices make the biggest impact.